Hey friends, welcome. February 1st, 2025. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine Jesus here, today, in the modern world. Not in sandals walking ancient roads, but in sneakers pacing the sidewalks of Detroit, Michigan. Not speaking in parables to fishermen, but talking in coffee shops, on street corners, in homeless shelters, and hospitals, meeting people right where they are. Each day this year, we will walk with him through a different city, exploring where he would go, who he would speak to, and how he would heal and restore in our modern times. Today we follow Jesus through Detroit, a city of resilience and revival, a city with a soul that has survived storms, economic collapse, crime, and hardship, but has never given up. On this winter day, February 1st, what would Jesus do? Well, let's walk with him and see. The city is still dark as Jesus stands by the Detroit Riverwalk, the cold breeze from Canada whipping at his coat. The river, still and powerful, reflects the first hints of sunrise. Jesus kneels near Hart Plaza, in front of the Gateway to Freedom Monument, a reminder of those who once fled oppression and found hope on the other side. He bows his head in praise, speaking softly into the quiet morning. Father, I lift this city to you, for the mothers working 2 jobs to feed their children, for the young men caught between 2 choices, the right path or the easy path, for the lonely, the addicted, the broken. May they see you today. May they know they are not alone. He remains in silence for a while, listening. The city is waking up behind him, car engines starting, people walking toward bus stops, the hum of life beginning anew. Jesus rises and heads toward the heart of Detroit. Jesus walks through 3rd Avenue, where the early morning bustle of professionals is contrasted by those who have nowhere to go. He enters the NSO Tumani Center, a warming shelter where dozens of people sit on metal chairs, wrapped in donated blankets, sipping hot coffee. A woman with matted hair and weary eyes sits against the wall, staring at the floor. Jesus kneels beside her. How long have you been here? She barely looks at him. Too long. You have a name? A pause, and then, Renee. Jesus smiles. Renee, your name means reborn. Did you know that? She scoffs, pulling her blanket closer. Yeah, well, I don't feel much like that. Jesus places a gentle hand on hers. You can be. Tears form in her eyes. She doesn't know why, but something inside her breaks open. It's been years since anyone spoke to her like she mattered. A shelter worker watches from nearby, recognizing the moment. He steps forward. Renee, if you want help, we can get you into a program today. She hesitates, then looks at Jesus. There is something in his eyes, a kindness, a knowing, and she nods. Jesus helps her stand. You are not forgotten. He tells the others in the room, you are deeply loved, and there is always hope. The lunch crowd is in full swing when Jesus steps into American Coney Island on Lafayette Boulevard. The line is long, customers laughing, talking, hunched over hot dogs slathered in chili. At a booth in the corner, 4 young men in Detroit Pistons jackets huddled together, voices low. Jesus watches them, seeing beyond the surface. One of them, Marcus, has a gun tucked under his hoodie. Fear and anger cloud his eyes. He is at a crossroads today, whether he realizes it or not. Jesus orders 5 coney dogs and takes them to the table. One of the guys looks up. We didn't order that. Jesus grins. No, but you could use a meal. There's a moment of hesitation. Then the guys relax. The food is an easy peace offering. Jesus sits down. Tell me something. What's the plan for today? Marcus glances at his friend, nervous. Nothing important. Jesus tilts his head. Is it something you'll be proud of tomorrow? Silence. A few beats pass, then Marcus exhales sharply, rubbing his forehead. Man, I don't know. He stops. I don't want to be here forever. Jesus nods. Then don't be. You were made for more than this. The weight in Marcus's chest shifts. The decision he thought was already made suddenly isn't. Jesus pats his shoulder. Be strong enough to choose a better way. Marcus looks down at the food. A small act of kindness just saved his future. At Henry Ford Hospital, a woman sits in the waiting room, eyes red from crying. Her hands are clasped so tightly that her knuckles are white. Her son is in the ICU after overdosing on fentanyl. The doctors have said there is little hope. Jesus walks in and sits beside her. My son, he's only 22, she whispers. I told him not to mess with that stuff, but and now it's too late. Jesus gently touches her hand. It's never too late. She doesn't understand, but something in his voice steadies her. He walks to the ICU room. Machines beep steadily. The boy is pale, unmoving. Jesus places a hand on his forehead. Rise. A shudder, a small gasp, then his eyes flutter open. The mother rushes in just as he whispers, Mom? She collapses into grateful sobs. A nurse stares, open-mouthed. I don't understand how. Jesus smiles and says, Love is stronger than death. At the Detroit Institute of Arts, Jesus listens to a lecture on Renaissance paintings of biblical stories. A student asks, did Jesus really do these miracles, or are they just symbols? Jesus stands. The audience turns toward him. Why do you call them symbols? He asks. When a man feeds the hungry, does it make him less real? When a woman forgives, is her love only a metaphor? The professor leans forward, intrigued. So you believe miracles still happen, he says. Jesus smiles. I know they do. Jesus returns to Hart Plaza, standing beneath the city lights. He lifts his eyes to the night sky and prays. For Detroit, for its people, for its healing, for every lost son to come home, and for every weary heart to find rest. The wind blows over the river, but Jesus stands firm. He turns slowly toward the city, eyes shining. Come, he whispers, follow me. So if Jesus were in our world today, would we recognize him? Would we follow him? Well, tomorrow, he walks into another city, another life, another moment where heaven touches earth. Come back tomorrow and let's see where he goes next. Before you leave, I'd like to offer a prayer for the hopes, needs, and intentions that you hold in your heart today. Are you ready? I'll lead. Here we go. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Amen. That was beautiful. Hey, I want to thank you for joining me today and following us through Detroit, Michigan. Every day this year, we're going to be going through a new city. So don't forget to hit subscribe. That way you'll get a notification when I post that day's daily video. I can't wait to see you tomorrow, my friends. And don't forget, hug your family. They love you. I'll be back tomorrow with another great story. I hope you have a beautiful day. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.